Hola clase, ¿cómo están? En este video voy a explicar los pronombres en español. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the subject pronouns in Spanish. So here we go. The first one is yo. Go ahead and say that at home, yo. And that means I. Yo is how we say I. Muy bien. The next one is tú. Tú. Tú means you. Notice there's an accent over the U. That's really important because if you forget to write the accent over the U, you're not saying you anymore. You're saying your. So the accent is muy importante. Muy bien. Next one is él. Repite él. Muy bien. Él is he. Again, there's an accent over the E. If I forget to write the accent, I'm saying the. So the accent is muy importante there as well. Él is he. Muy bien. Next one is ella. If you remember from the alphabet video, the double L makes the Y sound, right? So it's not ella, it's ella. And that's how we say she. Usted. Usted is the formal way to say you. So when you're talking directly to somebody in Spanish, you can either use the informal pronoun of tú, or if you want to be more formal, you can use usted. We don't really have a formal pronoun in English. Well, we definitely don't have a formal pronoun in English, so it takes a little getting used to. You would normally use usted with people who are in positions of authority and people who you are not really that well acquainted with. So for example, if I'm talking to the president of the university in Spanish, I would use usted. If I'm talking to my friend's grandmother, I would use usted. If I'm talking to the president of Mexico, obviously I would use usted. And when you start a sentence using usted, when you start a conversation with somebody using usted, usually you want to stay with the usted pronoun until they invite you not to. And Spanish speakers will tell you if they are more comfortable with you using tú with them. And that just invites you to switch from usted to tú. Muy bien. Nosotros is how we say we. Nosotros is we. If I want to make that feminine, I would just change the O out for an A, and that becomes nosotras. And nosotras is used when there's a group of all girls or all women. So if I'm a girl or if I'm a woman and I'm in the company of other girls or women and I want to say we, I can say nosotras instead of nosotros. Vosotros. So vosotros, I get a lot of questions about vosotros. For some reason, there seems to be a lot of confusion around this pronoun. Vosotros means you all. Vosotros is only used in Spain. So native Spanish speakers from Spain are going to use vosotros. That doesn't mean you can't use it when you're speaking Spanish in Latin America, but native Spanish speakers from Latin America are not going to use this pronoun. They're going to use ustedes instead of vosotros. So vosotros means you all in Spain. If I want to make vosotros feminine, I would say vosotras, and that just means you all. But in this case, you all are a group of all girls or a group of all women. You all. Ellos. Ellos is how we say they. So if I'm talking about that group of people over there, I would say ellos. I can make that feminine. If that group of people that I'm talking about are all girls or all women, I would refer to them as ellas. And that means they. And finally, ustedes, that means you all. There's no way to make this feminine. It's just ustedes, no matter who I'm talking about. And again, in Latin America, I would say ustedes to refer to a group of people. In Spain, I would say vosotros. So here I've placed all the subject pronouns into a chart. And when you open most Spanish textbooks, you'll always find the subject pronouns in the same order. And this is going to become important later on when we talk about boot verbs. I call them boot verbs, but they're also called stem-changing verbs. And we draw specific patterns around the certain pronouns to indicate that it's a boot. More on that later, but just for now realize that when you see the pronouns listed in the chart form, it's always going to be in the same order. And the same goes for verbs too. So the order is this. You have the 3 singular forms on the left, and then you have the 3 plural forms on the right. And I'm just going to really quickly recap the subject pronouns for you, and that'll be a wrap for this video. So we have yo, that means I. Tú, that means you. Él is he. Ella is she. Usted is you. So that's how you say you formal in Spanish. If you want to be formal, you would say usted instead of tú. Nosotros is we. If you want to make that feminine, it would be nosotras. That would be like us girls. Vosotros is you all. Again, that's only in Spain. If you want to make that one feminine, you would say vosotras if you're talking about you girls or you women. Ustedes would be you all. Okay, so in Latin America, we use ustedes instead of vosotros. So if I'm referring to a group of people, I would say ustedes. And if I'm talking about a group of people over there, I'm not talking directly to them, but I'm talking about them. I would say ellos, and I use ellos for a mix of guys and girls. And finally, ellas, if the group I'm talking about is only girls or only women, I would say ellas. So again, those are the subject pronouns in Spanish. They're very important to just memorize, and once you have those down, then you're ready to move on to the next set of pronouns. And in Spanish, you'll find that there are a lot of pronouns, but it's not too terrible. Muy bien. Gracias, clase, y hasta la próxima.